in the back line, and maybe he's a bit frustrated that the ball hasn't come up and greeted him as yet as well. So 50-metre penalty has come out of this, and it looks like the Tiwi Bombers will get their first goal of the game out of it as well. As it looks like Mungatopi has the ball there for the Tiwi Bombers. And he'll line up from roughly 20 metres out, slightest of angles. No wind to speak of as yet today, although there is a little bit of cloud cover out and about. Might get a bit of swing on the ball if you're a cricketer. As Mungatopi puts it through, and the Bombers have got their first goal on the board. 117 to 1 straight behind, and the Tiwi Bombers, well, they've looked the goods. They've just the skills have let them down in some parts early on in the game, while St Mary's just really haven't as threatened as much.
Yeah, exactly right, and I think, again, like you said, probably a little bit of frustration there for Daryl White, and not quite sure what happened, but it was an indiscretion behind the play, and yeah, the Tiwi Bombers capitalise and get first blood in this crucial game. But obviously a key match up there at St Ford, Noodles McFarlane on Bongedi. He'll have his hands full. Yeah, Dan McLinden up against Daryl White. He had Brendan Favola a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, got a little bit touched up by the big Fev, but yeah, up against another AFL star this week.
So the ruckman do the work that time was Miles, and also the likes of Malone. Two big fellas just strutting their stuff in the middle of the ground, and here comes St Mary's. Can they set it up? A long booming kick heading in the direction of McFarlane, but a fine mark taken there by the number 32, and that was really good play there by the Tiwi Bombers. Here comes Jerry Cunningham as he comes along the wing, finds the target. Nice lead up there by Tungatalam. Looking for some leads. Daryl White has a tendency to mark behind his head, or not even facing the ball. And here comes Tundawatch as he switches play, heading in the Heath direction. He's got an absolute paddock, and look at these little piston legs work out there. He's going to have to work really hard to get away from the likes of McLinden as he moves it quickly. Good tackle there by McLinden. The ball hits the ground, and here comes some tunnel ball footy from the Tiwi Bombers. Fantastic play, looking for the Kianara direction, but doesn't find Dylan that time. And Tundawatch again kicks it away. Not happy with the kick that time, and well, that's definitely kicking for touch in the face of May that sees it over the boundary line.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier on, is the Tiwi Bombers are very, very lackadaisical going forward and like to pinpoint their passes, and again just clearly missing a key target going forward, and making their foray into their forward line just a little bit harder at this present time.
So St Mary's slowly but surely starting to set up a forward thrust. Tippa Woody, that's Dermot and Jerry Cunningham. What a matchup that is for today. Daryl White looking to mark in front of his Bombers opponent. That was McLinden. Heath's there as well. Gets down below his knees. And a good mark taken there by Stapleton. So Stapleton switches play. Oh, geez, really dropping what he should have taken there was Hill. He's under pressure now. Tries to get away. Does so. Finds the number 9. Used to be Carl Lode, now Ben Rioli. And a good lead up there by Vallejo. So Iggy Vallejo heading in the Heath direction. Also going for that one there was Liddy. Going to have to work hard to get the ball back. Heath's here. He grabs what he's taken, but he's wrapped up with it. Did he have enough time to get rid of it? The umpire says yes. They play on. Good work there by Cooper to try and get it out, but they're under immense pressure from the Tiwi Bombers defence. Liddy again, hands below his knees, trying to get it out. But here comes the likes of the Tiwi Bombers through Cunningham. And they link up beautifully. The kick away that time there from the likes of Barden. And the ball slowly but surely heading out of bounds. Both players sort of stopped at that instance. Kuranaiwa in Cameron, and also Ben Rioli wearing the number 9 after Carl Lode well handed the jumper on last week after last week's game, which is good to see. Bit of history. And a free kick for holding. Wilson not happy with that. He's just going to have to deal with it as Kianaiwa gets the kick back. Wasn't over the mark. Cameron Kianaiwa. Off to Cunningham. Off to the centre half back position. So Mungataipi finds Barden. There's pretty much a full ground zone at the moment. Players filling spots all over the place. Dylan Kianoa finds Cunningham. He's under a bit of pressure. Looking to try and pierce this defence of St Mary's at the moment, which has been set up all over the ground at the moment. Man on man. Big barrel of a kick heading into the forward line, looking for a mark, punched away, scooping that up that time there was Prot Jimmy. He plays on quickly, players just being tackled all over the place. Withers putting pressure on Hill that time. Rioli taps it forward, probably could have taken possession of it at the time. Good hand pass away, misjudged it though, and the ball has ended up in the hands of Prot Jimmy. He's trying to push it, tap it, somehow get it forward. He and Bryce are just tangling at the moment. Bryce switches over to the other side. And a good work there by Tippa and Woody. This is Dermott. He goes back from whence it came. Smith's going to have to work really hard for that one. And a big lumberjack just moves on forward. Hand passes off. A high up and under kick. Had to call shout for that one, and a good mark taken there by Cunningham, who's had plenty of it so far, but hasn't been as damaging as what he usually is. So Cunningham in the middle of the ground. Lovely kick, and a fine mark is taken by the Tiwi Bombers at centre half forward. And we're just going to see how Campbell can well put this one through the big sticks. It won't test him distance-wise, but accuracy might be. So Campbell. Right on 50. Lovely looking kick. Straight as an arrow. And in the end it was distance that did test him. And it's a 1-2-8 to one straight behind.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Cunningham's getting a lot of the ball, especially through the midfield of the ground. I suppose Hale would probably prefer that he's getting it higher up the field and not his dangerous self in the full forward line. That's where the Tiwi Bombers seem to be falling down. No effort from Tippa and Woody due through to in-club suspension. So, Cunningham playing higher up the ground, so he's not dangerous in getting that ball inside the forward 50 and kicking goals. So, I think Hale is pretty pleased with letting Cunningham get kicks up across the wing area.
As long as they're not damaging ones, I guess. And that's a good point there, Bradley, as the ball is thrown in just near the scoreboard. Plenty of players trying to get the ball away that time. Good pick up that time out there on the outer side is Stringer as he moves it inside the forward line, and slowly but surely St Mary's will start to build up as Liddy goes for the lead. Instead they go longer. McFarlane, the high leaping McFarlane. White grabbing the crumbs, snapping around the corner is Cooper for a sausage roll and an epic moment of the day. Fantastic work there by Cooper to rove the pack, and good work there by Daryl White as well.
Yeah, it was dual rove there, and Daryl White actually probably thought his youth days were never behind him and roved off Noodles McFarlane there, and swift handball out to Cooper, who, again, a classy Tiwi goal.
An epic moment of the day early on in the piece, but that was fantastic roving there by Cooper. And well, Tiwi Bombers, they can't get away from St Mary's early on in the piece. It is a tight and tough affair. 1-2-8 to 1-1-7. And we've been going roughly 17 minutes in this first quarter as the ball is back in the middle. Thrown up there, Smith taps it down, the former or current Thunder Ruckman. And a good strong mark taken there by Hill as he switches play. Looking for his partner in crime in Stapleton. Got plenty of time to mop up in defence. Finds ton to watch. High kick, really high kick. Could bring some rain a little bit later on. McFarlane marks, and it is paid. Had enough bites of the cherry on that one. So McFarlane really leading up high as a centre half forward. Plenty of pressure on the outer side as the Tiwi Bombers scamper away with the ball inside. Finds Kelly. Pungatalum calling for it on the fat side of the ground, but Kelly goes along the line and finds the likes of Campbell. So Campbell kicks it inside, uses the inside and outside of his boot. Beautiful work there. Wanamary's out on the ground now, the former Demon. Lays the tackle, bit of forward line pressure. Demons fans will be happy about that, and Tiwi Bombers fans will be happy about this if Campbell had kicked that one, but scoots along the face of the goals. And here comes St Mary's as they start to build up from defence. They go long across the wing. And a fine mark is taken as they slowly but surely move it through Clayton. The North Ballarat Rebel plays on quickly. Dermot, Tippa and Woody at the bottom of this pack. Daryl White holding things up, along with the likes of McCasker.
As we've mentioned previously, the Tiwi Bombers again lacking a key target up forward. Austin Wanamiri is obviously underdone by looking at him, and Rupert Papangamiri is definitely not a forward line player, plays a lot of his footy across half back, so trying to makeshift a forward line up there, and it just doesn't seem to be working for them at the moment, as Dan McLinden cops an unfair one high, and rightly so pushes back. But yeah, the Tiwi Bombers need to definitely do something about that forward line, because it's just not working at the moment.
He's fired up today, young Wilson, as Ross Tungatalam boots the ball away into the middle of the ground. Papangamiri trying to shake this one down there. Also there is Kiranua and the likes of Dylan that time as they move it forward. Bongetti misjudging the bounce on this. McFarlane a little bit more nimble than Bongetti, has plenty of time and poise to set things up, and a fine mark is taken that time there by the likes of Stringer. So Stringer will line up, probably kick just inside 50. Straight in front, and sooner rather than later St Mary's could be in front for the first time today at the 20-minute mark. So Stringer, and influential on the outer side of the ground today, comes in, nice looking lead up to the kick, good looking follow through as well with the distance and also the accuracy, just stretching him just a little bit. It's through for a behind. So we're all tied up here at TIO Stadium. It's at 1-2-8 apiece. We've been going 21 minutes so far in this first quarter. And it should be mentioned that these two sides battled it out in the grand final only a couple of years ago. St Mary's winning that day, after the Tiwi Bombers had a magnificent season. Inside now, here comes Clayton. Can he do something special from the boundary line? Cunningham nearly takes his head off, but he kicks it inboard and finds the target, and St Mary's will have another chance, this time maybe for a 7-point play.
Yeah, just a wise head there from Clayton, just showing his experience and his obviously class there. Could have easily gone for goal, and again just spotting up his teammate and Luke Collins 20 metres out and on a slight angle should slot this home to give St Mary's the ascendancy heading into quarter time. So
Collins comes in and doesn't make a meal of that one. He's happy about it. And St Mary's hit the lead for the first time today. They go to 2-2-14 to 1-2-8. And you're right there, Bradley. The Tiwi Bombers trying to manufacture goals. They have been so very good, I should say, at getting their goals from their midfield. And that's why I'm a little bit upset about the way that Cunningham's just been patrolling off the half-back line. Usually he's popped up with a couple of goals usually early, and that's where maybe they might have to manufacture some of their goals today, as we see Pupangameri just on the wing now.
Yeah, if you have a look at that centre bounce setup, they're playing two high half forwards, and Tandawatch and was it number 12 there for St Mary's in Aidan Hill, just roaming across half back doing as they please. So that's probably where the Tiwi Bombers are falling down, and they need to address that at quarter time.
So Hale gets a high up and under kick out. A good work there by Tippa and Woody. That's Dermot. And Daryl White, what a fantastic mark that is. It does what he does, but it's his signature move, just showing the umpire that, yep, I've got the ball. Sort of like when you take one of those catches when you're diving into a swimming pool, isn't it? But Daryl White, the triple premiership player with the Brisbane Lions, giving back to the community as he always does. And, geez, he's nearly 40, isn't he? He's just amazing. Just still looks 21. As Daryl White lines up for the third goal for St Mary's. And as easy as you like, goal umpire didn't have to move, and it's probably not the most textbook kicking style because it's very lackadaisical, but it's through nonetheless.
Laconic and efficient is the way I put it, is Daryl White. And the way he goes about his footy is very efficient, so he doesn't expend the energy that he doesn't need to. And again, he's got that class and experience that a few of these younger fellas think that they can run all over him, but he always pops up and he always has an impact here in the NTFL, and just knows how to pop his head up at the right times. And taking a crucial mark, and those two goals heading into quarter time will definitely hurt the Tiwi Bombers going into the quarter time break.
And he has been reported, we must say that, for an earlier incident, bit of a scuffle on the half-back line, believe it or not, as Pupunga Mary plays on quickly, finally takes a bounce. He streams out of the middle. Lace's kicker does a bounce on through. This is an epic moment of the day. Thank you very much. A fantastic goal and a much-needed one for the Tiwi Bombers.
Yeah, again, I think it was a little bit lucky that the Tiwi Bombers actually ended up getting that. The umpire should have probably called back what was a pretty ordinary bounce there, but Pung Mary swooped on the mistake, albeit from the umpire, and used his skill, but that's where he's suited. I think he's not suited to a forward line and a lead up forward. I think he's suited for either a midfielder or a halfback flanker and damaging run, because he's got that skill. He's got a penetrating kick, and he just speared that one in about 2 metres all the way, and it just gave the defence no time to shut it down.
So it's 2-2-14 to 3-2-20, and that was a much-needed goal there for the Tiwi Bombers as it just skidded off the ground. And that is quarter time. And St Mary's wouldn't be happy with that late goal there from the Bombers, as they had most of the ascendancy in that latter part of that quarter. It is the St Mary's Football Club by a goal at quarter time, 3-2-20 to 2-2-14. And welcome back to TIO Stadium. Ed Calishaw and Brad Stewart keeping you company on this Saturday afternoon here at TIO Stadium, where it is 3-2-20 St Mary's leading the Tiwi Bombers at 2-2-14. Papangamiri just kicking an absolute ripper of a sausage roll just before that quarter time break to bring it within a goal after they had dominated the early part of that first quarter, and then St Mary's came back with a bang and really controlling momentum a little bit later on. As the umpire holds the ball aloft. And we get back into it for the second quarter as Smith and Bongetti do the ruck work that time. I should say it was Malone as he tapped it down, and the Tiwi Bombers head in the Bongetti direction. Kelly's at the bottom of this ball. He kicks it forward there, Bongetti. Kelly being hassled there by the likes of Rioli. Tunderwatch gets a handball out. Under pressure that time there was Stringer, and it heads towards the boundary line, and it will be thrown in.
Yeah, it looks like Bongetti has been swung into the forward line there at centre forward. It's a bit of a different sort of setup for the Tiwi Bombers, trying to structure it up with a bit of tools there. So, like the thoughts of Lee Crossman there, but it's just going to also Aussie Wanamiri out of the square as well. So, again, trying to inject a little bit of experience up forward and see how they go.
Would have played Bongetti maybe a little bit closer to the goal square as the big target, and that's where he ends up being as the player kicking it out of that defensive quarter there in Hill, but Kia Naiua, a free kick has been given away, and St Mary's will set things up through Stapleton right in front of the scoreboard. St Mary's leading by a goal early in the second quarter. Back to Stapleton, Jerry Cunningham marking him. Just looking for some players to lead up and give them a target. They go backwards to go forwards. Ben Rioli wearing the helmet, and also the jumper of former midfielder Carl Load. And they start to build up through Bice, and they're back from whence they came through Stringer. So Stringer back at the scoreboard area. Possession game starting to take its toll. Hale, another little chip kick, and they've done this well, St Mary's. They've got some space. Bice inside the forward 50, looking for McFarlane's. Had to take on two. They're going in hard there. Daryl White throwing his body all over the place. Roving at the right time there was Tippa Woody, and Dermot Tippa Woody is very happy with the situation. I think it's Cooper, in fact, and Cooper has kicked this fantastic goal, just roving at the right time. He's got two next to his name, and he did that absolutely superbly.
Yeah, I think all the Tiwi Bombers just got flocked and got caught ball watching and closing in on the ball rather than marking their respective opponents. And Cooper just hung back, and as all crummers do, just know when to time their run to be there at the right time, and finished off with yet another classy goal, which he's accustomed to be doing in the NTFL this season.
No, he's been in sensational form. Seen him a couple of times this year, and he's really maybe putting his name up in the team of the year sort of category when it comes to a forward pocket position. As St Mary's get pinged for holding the ball through Iggy Vallejo, and they play on quickly, this time through Tippa Mary. Throw it out in front of Kira Naiua. This is Dylan. He heads inside the forward 50, looking for a target. Punched away there by Anstis. Stapleton's there as well, trying to clear the ball there for St Mary's, but Dion Munkara keeps it alive. It's a ping-ponging ball at the moment. A couple of players trying to throw their weight around, and St Mary's clear the ball, but only to the aid of the Tiwi Bombers as they head inboard. And a man lining up for this one is Lincoln Withers. He chips it inside 50, but doesn't get it past the big ruckman in Smith. Interesting looking kick, finds the target on the outer side, and away go the likes of Tip and Woody. This is Dermot. High up and under kick, looking for the target, that time there of Clayton. The ball still in play at the moment as it's chipped across. Oh, and what an errant hand or punch or fist collecting the likes of the Tiwi Bomber in done there. That was Cooper. So here come the Tiwi Bombers out of defence. St Mary's just trying to fill holes all over the ground. They play on quickly. Up along the line of the boundary line, a fine mark taken, and just a very, very lazy incidence there by Bongetti. And Wilson just saying goodnight to Bongetti. David and Goliath sort of match up there, and Jack Long. Will line up for St Mary's. So Long has the ball outside 50. Now, think of the action over the last couple of weeks. High up and under kick. Does not make a meal of that one, and that was just a lazy incident there by Bonghetti, and I don't see any reason why he would have done that.
Yeah, I think he claimed he got a little bit of contact from behind from the trailing opponent there, and incidental contact, which he in turn made to Jack Long. Again, it's late, and regardless of whether the umpire saw it or not, it's a warranted free kick. And just on Jack Long, he's one of those young fellas that's really risen to the top this year for the St Mary's Football Club, and him along with young Ben Rioli have really stood up, and it's really good to see the youth in the NTFL getting a go and actually performing. So really good to see, and that's the future of the NTFL right there. Ben Rioli, and Jack Long.
And Miles and Malone waiting for the ball to come back onto the ground. Bit of a hold up. Scoreline reads 5-2-32 to 2-2-14 in hot and humid conditions. Just before Christmas, last round before Christmas, before a break. We'll be back on January 7 in the new year. Looking forward to that in the lead up to finals for the 2011-2012 season. Tap down there by Malone. Quick kick away there by Tippa Mantameri. A high up and under kick, in fact. Geez, they could have marked that one, St Mary's, as players just overrun the ball, including Tungatalum and also Collins. And they play on quickly here, St Mary's. Can they use the ball wisely? Ben Rioli off to Heath, the smallest man on the field. Takes the mark. Moves it along the outer side. Heading in the Liddy direction. Good work there by McLinden to just see it over the boundary line. Roughly 70 metres away from the St Mary's attacking goal. The ball will be thrown in for Daryl White to go up, third man up. There's Miles and Malone. Tap it forward this time as St Mary's starting to make an impact on this game already. Tiwi a little bit behind the 8 ball as they're trailing by 3 goals. White tries to get it out. Good work there by the Tiwi Bombers. Tungatalum starting to link up. A 1-2 there with Port Jimmy. Back to Tungatalum, and off he goes. Straight into the middle of the ground. This could be sensational stuff here by the Tiwi Bombers, and a much-needed goal as well. And that was fantastic work there by Ross Tungatalum in the middle of the ground to set that goal up. And the old 1-2-1-2 play there with Port Jimmy really did set it up there for the Tiwi Bombers, and they're not going away, which is good to see.
Yeah, just staying in touch, and again a crucial goal that again the Tiwi Bombers just need just to stay in touch. But again, the class of Poor Jimmy and Ross Tungatalum, really good mates, and they have been playing footy together for a very long time, and I think that just innate ability of knowing what each other's doing and reading on it off each other is just sensational. And yeah, Jimmy, or as they call him, did a lot of those sort of running goals for St Mary's, and now he's back to his homelands at Tiwi Bombers. So really good to see, and yeah, it's going to be hard for. Going to have his young hands full out there in Bradley Stringer in keeping James Poor Jimmy quiet all day.
So quick kick away there by Clayton as they get a centre break here. St Mary's. Cooper at the bottom of the pack. McFarlane's there as well. Here comes Tippin Woody. Cooper's where he's just sort of tapping it forward as he tends to do, and unfortunately loses a handle on the ball. Cooper there tries to wrap up Tungatalum. Port Jimmy holds onto the ball to keep it in the aid of Kiranua. That's Dylan. He gets it to Jerry Cunningham. A free kick for in the back was given away there by Long. And Cunningham picks up the ball. Thought we could have had another indiscretion there. So Jerry Cunningham with the ball and the shiny boots. My goodness gracious me. I thought the sun off my glare of my head was pretty hard to handle. But that is unbelievable. That kick there, a torpedo Good to see that kick starting to make its way back in the game as Anstess gives the ball back out to Stapleton. Cunningham could end up back with it. Long, lovely handball there. Beautiful hands there to Stringer. Geez, has had to work really hard today, McFarlane. Being held quite well there by McLinden. Vallejo. Here comes McFarlane. Little chip kick away there to Tippa and Woody. And he lies down and takes the mark. And it wasn't 15, believe it or not. And the umpire will throw it up.
Just back here on the wing here when Jerry Cunningham had that opportunity, he should have committed a lot earlier and just, didn't want the hard ball and stood back, and St Mary's ended up getting it down the other end. So, again, just a of note thing that Jerry Cunningham needs to probably commit a little bit more there.
Ross Tungatalum kicks the ball inside their defensive 50 to try and clear the ball. Comes out with Tippa Mantameri. Tungatalum twisting and turning in the middle of the ground. Geez, they're just waiting for the ball to come to them, aren't they? As Robert Hale, he just attacks the ball off to Smith. Good work there by Kelly just to take some poise into the game, and a fine mark taken there by McFarlane, who has been quiet but starting to come into the game. Nice kick, looking for his partner in crime in Liddy. Away goes McLinden. He thought the whistle had been blown, but he plays on quickly. Onto the outer side. Tunda watches there. Also in the area is Kelly for the Tiwi Bombers. Hale got an absolute paddock to play with. Outside 60. Heads inboard. Looks for Smith. Takes 2 bites of the cherry. Plays on quickly. The big ruckman. Nimble as you like. And is it a sausage roll? I think it is. Great work there by the ruckman. And, geez, he's come a long way in the last 18 months with the experience with the NT Thunder, a couple of flags next to his belt. And the way that he's improving as a ruckman in this competition has just been outstanding over the first 11 rounds of this season. Yeah,
exactly right. And he's deserved every accolade he's got. He's worked hard. He's a very hard worker on the track. With the NT Thunder, but you hit the nail on the head earlier on when you said that Tiwi Bombers are just waiting for the ball to come to them rather than attacking the ball, and Robbie Hale just showed it in spades there, where he just attacked the ball and the Tiwi Bombers just waited for it to bounce and waiting for it to come to them. If they're going to wait all day, you'll find the St Marys will just run through them, because their relentless attack on the ball is one of those things they do very well.
Bit of a mismatch in the middle there with Smith and McCasker doing the work. Here comes Lincoln Withers from outside 50. Needs a fair bit of a wind gust to help him out. But the man that gave away 50 before, Mongetti, marks, plays on quickly, kicks the goal, and the Tiwi Bombers get that quick reply. So they still remain only 2 goals behind. And they're still playing catch-up footy. 4-2, 26 to 6-2 at 38.
Yeah, great centre break there again. I suppose the head of Lincoln Withers, and I think he needs to show that leadership in the centre there with that attack on the ball, and himself along with Michael Fairweather, who has been very, very quiet, and young Corey Kelly is not too shy of a bit of body contact either. But I think those 3 guys will need to step up and sort of show some leadership for the other Tiwi players to really get behind, and if they're going to chew away at this deficit. But it still remains at 2 goals, and I think St Mary's just are quite comfortable at keeping that 2-goal buffer at this stage.
McCasker again in the middle of the ground doing the ruck work, and he's getting eaten alive as they get a centre clearance here. Bice a high up and under kick, finds White, good strong pack mark, and he is marked from just outside 50. Now, will this test the distance of the former AFL champ? He plays on quickly, little chip kick. Just bounces off the chest of Vallejo, and here comes Kiranayua. That time there it's Cameron. He plays on quickly. Here comes Dunn, out of defence. With the right boot, heading in the Tungatalum direction. Rioli punches it forward. He might end up with it. The man wearing a helmet today plays on quickly. Good work there, and here comes Bice again. All left by his lonesome. Finds Vallejo. He easily marks this one. Plays on quickly and gives it back to his partner in crime in Daryl White. He tried to set up Iggy just a moment before, but this time it'll be Daryl White lining up from roughly 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yes, as it's been the whole day, I think Tiwi Bombers have had no system going forward, and again, young Ben Riola's been given the super task on Ross Tungatalum and in this quarter thus far, and he's been doing his job quite well for a very young fella. But as Daryl White slots that one through, no mistake, as you would expect.
So Daryl White gets his second for the day. 7-2, 44 to 4-2, 26. Very accurate kicking from early on in the first quarter. And both sides have been very accurate since that 15-minute mark of that first quarter. And St Mary's in a dominant position. But what we have been seeing is that as soon as St Mary's kick a goal, Tiwi get one back pretty quickly. Question is, can they get a couple of stops out there, defensive efforts, where they can finally get themselves back in front after leading early on in the piece. 7-2-44 to 4-2-26. Been going 16 minutes in this second quarter. The umpire marches on in. There is a skill to bouncing the ball. And they do it with aplomb. Smith taps it out, looking for Wilson that time. He overran the ball. Here comes the likes of Port Jimmy. Punching it forward there was Hale. And it's just volleyball action at the moment. Again there by Kelly that time. Here comes Kianaiua. Just somehow works his way forward. Still got plenty of time. He hand passes forward, looking for Fairweather. He ends up with it. And just doesn't get that goal that he so cravely wanted. And here comes Jack Long. He's under pressure from Cunningham as he hand passes backwards to go forwards. Ben Rioli's been in everything, and unfortunately the ball is out of bounds. And that's great forward line pressure there. And the second efforts there by Jerry Cunningham to force the ball over the boundary line and give his side another chance at goal. The ball's set to be thrown in. Moving on quickly. Smith trying to work hard against Bongetti. Good work there by the likes of Campbell. Ball still in play, but only just seen over the boundary line that time there by Fairweather. And you would think a little bit later on, fatigue will be playing a fairly big part in this game, and fitness levels will be tested. As already we're seeing players with their hands on their knees. Kick away that time by May, only as far as the number 18 in Dunn. Kicks it inboard. Finds Barden. He switches play, high up and under kick. Tungatalum in a foot race against Rioli. This is a tantalising matchup. Good work there by Rioli as the ball hits the ground. St Mary's might end up with it, but it's the Tiwi Bombers that keep persisting through Kelly, and they find Papangameri. And the man that started up forward early on in the piece will have another chance at goal, looking for his second for the day. So Papangameri, 45-degree angle. He's got a Michael Holding run-up. Big run-up here. Hope all the momentum goes as straight as what he wants it to do. 4-2-26 to 7-2-44. 3-goal lead to St Mary's at the moment. This to cut it back to 2. Papangameri. Nice, strong build-up. Gets the momentum. Beautiful looking kick off the boot. And it's straight through the middle as well, as he's happy with that. He gets his second for the day, and he cuts the lead to 2 straight goals. It's 5-2, playing 7-2 here at TIO Stadium.
Great line and length, like Michael Holding's bowling as well, Edo. So, yeah, bit of zip, nice and straight towards the pegs, just to the left of the off stump. So, yeah, again, I eat my words. Rupert Pangamiri goes forward and kicks a goal, but again, I still don't think there's any real system to what the Tiwi Bombers are doing, especially when going forward. And I think it's just a bit of a mismatch of what's going on up forward. I suppose they're probably pretty blessed with Bongetti up forward with a key target, but I think it's something that needs to be done and addressed at half time is actually how they're going forward at the moment. It's just a little bit of bit haphazard, I think.
Aussie Wanameri now in the middle for the Tiwi Bombers as Port Jimmy. He's been in everything. Electric hand pass there to Jerry Cunningham. Here he goes in his beautiful shoes. He's got plenty of space, so I wouldn't knock it back from here as he lines up, pushes it across the stick, off hands and through for a behind. But geez, Port Jimmy in the middle with these no-look handballs are just exhilarating to watch as St Mary's from defence start to set things up, this time through Miles on the outer side as it comes 2 miles, I should say, from Stringer. So he moves it across, finds Hale, who's been patrolling that outer side today, that outer wing in front of the scoreboard. Beautiful looking kick and some hard running there by St Mary's as they play on quickly, heading towards the goal square. Look for Daryl White to go up for this one. McFarlane, who's been well held, but here comes the likes of Cooper. He snaps around the corner. Can he get enough curve on that one? No, he doesn't even get a point to register for that, and it's out of bounds on the full.
The Tiwi Bombers just lacked a lot of response moving out of their forward line there. A lot of them were flat-footed across half forward line. They need to respond and react to the ball moving out, as Mary's just moved that around the outer side with complete ease. They ran hard and they did all the hard work, but the Tiwi Bombers just didn't want to run with them. So that's something the Tiwi Bombers need to work on if they're ever going to sort of keep the ball inside their 450 for extended periods of time.
Big booming kick could bring rain as Tippa Manta Mary's at the bottom of that pack, goes back inside. Dion Munkari's going to have to do something special to get rid of it. And a free kick, he's lucky with that, as Clayton was right on his hammer. It's the high tackle to Munkara, chips it across, and the Tiwi Bombers zigzagging their way up the ground. Jerry Cunningham to end up with this one. Losing his feet there was Wilson, keeping his feet was Cunningham as he goes in the middle of the ground. Wanameri, jeez, being outclassed there by Iggy Vallejo. He gives it out there to Daryl White. And St Mary's looking to set up yet again. Clayton free, chipping it across. Tighter angle there for St Mary's, and they play on yet again. And Cooper, just they're walking at the moment, the Tiwi Bombers, and it's not what you want to see if you're a big fan of their football club, as they're walking around in defence, and I think they're just craving the siren at the moment, as young Cooper is looking to line up for his third for the day. Been influential and opportunistic. And Aussie Wanameri just didn't go for the mark, which he probably should have, or at least attempted to go for in the middle of the ground against Iggy Vallejo just before, as Cooper comes in.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether that's a confidence issue, Ed, and that's probably what it was. He didn't put any hands up to get it at all, and whether he heard footsteps, I'm not quite sure, but I didn't see much of Aussie before he went into the AFL, but I'm sure before that he would have probably had a crack at that. So I think whether it's a confidence thing, he's obviously probably got a few issues there with regards to his confidence and his ability, I suppose. So there's no doubt he's got it all, but he just needs to find that, and let's hope he does, because he's a fantastic player, and for the sake of the Tiwi Bombers Footy Club, they really want him at the top flight action if they're going to make any dent in the final series.
Yeah, you're just looking at him at the moment. He just looks a little bit lost out there here on the wing, just sort of dodging where the ball is actually going. As Papanga Mary gets a roll on, hand passes off, finds the likes of Campbell. He lines up, and this is a great point-to-point goal, a team goal for the Tiwi Bombers, and an epic moment of the day.
Yeah, another great handball from Rupert Pungamiri. Could have easily swung around and snapped it over his shoulder, but again, just saw the run of Campbell. And like you said before, and it's probably a strange comment, but it was probably pretty true, is that Austin Wanamiri didn't really run near the ball, didn't want to be there. He just looks lost. He looks like he's just running around. And yes, he hasn't played as his first game for quite a while, but yeah, he just doesn't look like his normal self out there, but let's hope that he can regain that confidence and his feel for the game, because his ability and his dash will be needed come finals time if the Tiwi Bombers can get him to that level of fitness that's required to play in TFL footy, which I don't think he's at the moment.
Well, I just remember that game against Fremantle, that epic comeback. We're 51 points down. I can say we, because I was a Melbourne supporter, still am. And my gosh, he was influential. He kicked 4 goals, all in that second half, and really did set up the win. As St Mary's through Heath, high up and under kick, looking in the Daryl White direction. Will he get the bounce? Oh, nearly gets the turn on the ball there from Heath, as no one had touched it, but it hit the big fat part of the post, and it is through for behind, as Tiwi got their chance now. Bongetti goes up early against Smith. Bongetti ends up with the ball. Both ruckmen overrun it in the end. Here comes Iggy Vallejo. He hits the pack hard. Smith finds the likes of May out to the outer side, and St Mary's got a really good chance to build up here through Tunderwatch. Just takes the pace off the ball beautifully, and a free kick is earned there to the likes of Stringer, and he'll have a shot from outside 50. So Stringer Interesting kick there by Tunderwatch there, just as he gets the ball back. Just really did take the pace off the ball beautifully. Former rookie listed player with the Brisbane Lions as he bombs it inside. Look for Cooper and the likes of Tippa and Woody, that's Dermott, to really influence that game there. But Tungatulum kicks the ball out to Campbell, leads up beautifully. Hope he's put the sunblock on today, old Campbell. Moves it along nicely and neatly. Brought Jimmy. What fancy work will he do here? Doesn't have the ball. Taken without it. Off the ground. And I don't think poor Jimmy knew what he was going to do with it as he hit the ground. It's Ben Rioli just throwing his weight around at the moment. Entertaining stuff from the youngsters.
Yeah, entertaining stuff. And poor Jimmy tried a little bit of magic there. And Benny Rioli just letting him know that it's not just going to be as easy as he likes out there and can't just do what he wants. So it's confidence from the young fella, but he doesn't need to get too confident with that sort of stuff. Needs to concentrate on his footy.
Well, it's interesting. Ben Rioli's playing full back at the moment as Daryl White goes for it one-handed. Cooper, lace-out kick, looking the Vallejo direction. Will he get back to his feet sooner rather than later? Barton busting his way through Cooper that time. Quick handball out there, that time there by Tip and Woody. That was Albert. A high up and under kick. Bice goes for the mark, doesn't take it. Withers just stand his ground. He's a man mountain, that man, as he moves it on quickly. Bongetti gets a kick out. Standing his ground that time there was the St Mary's player in Stapleton and holding the ball. Great tackle by Papunga Mary.
I think he's a bit lucky there. He laid a hand, not really a tackle, but anyway.
He gets it back. Papunga Mary from Withers. Brought Jimmy back to Withers. A lovely kick from outside 50. Watch the marking attempt there by Kelly. Plays on quickly. A little bit of Liam Jurra-esque there by Kelly to try and mark and kick a goal whilst you're in midair. Didn't end up happening. And that is half-time. And well, a bit of entertainment in that last couple of minutes. 7-4-46 to 5-4-40. It is a 2-goal lead. Well, in fact, does that make sense? 5-4-40? Now, well, we'll try and work that out from the scoreboard. It's a little bit later on. But it is great to have you company today. AFL in TV. Keep on watching with us. We'll be back after the halftime break with the second half of this thrilling game between St Mary's and the Tiwi Bombers, all part of the Round 11 action. Welcome back to TIO Stadium as the second half is about to get underway. We're all well rested. We've all eaten up a fair bit of lint balls anyway, those little chocolate delights. My goodness gracious me. As Ross Tungatala nearly gets his head taken off there by the likes of Kelly. They play on quickly. Smith's in the area as well, along with Robert Hale. It's fast and ferocious early on in the piece. Iggy Vallejo slides in. He would have been safe on a baseball diamond. As Robert Hale moves it across, finds the defender in Stapleton. And, well, a little bit of order gets settled out there as everyone can breathe. Hale gets the ball from Smith. McFarlane plays on quickly, finds Wilson. Good work there by Kieran Nyanua. That time there by Cameron. Heath going in hard. Under pressure there by Tip and Woody. That was Albert. High up and under kick. Daryl White has a couple of bites of the cherry and gets paid the mark. Intriguing that. As he moves it on forward. It's going to be a tough mark. A 2-on-1 situation. St Mary's had the numbers there and a fine mark taken there by Clayton. So Clayton's going to line up on a tightish angle. Roughly 20 metres out from goal. So St Mary's already starting to influence their power early on. So 6-4-40 to 7-4-46. And that is all about to change as Clayton puts it through. And it is now 8-4 to 6-4. And a handy lead there for the St Mary's Football Club.
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, leading into the halftime break, it's going to be a matter of fitness that's going to show out this game. It's the hottest part of the day, and the 2:30 game is one that tests your mettle, whether it's mentally and physically. So, yeah, the St Mary's Footy Club, if they can kick away here, it'll be very hard for the Tiwi Bombers to claw their way back, as they've done throughout the game. They've managed to get crucial goals at crucial times, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting third quarter, the premiership quarter, as they say. So we'll see how that goes and how it unfolds. But yeah, good start to St Mary's and Jeremy Clayton. We had a comment from Matt Sanford asking how he's going. He's had a very solid game from North Ballarat, and let's tell you what, Ballarat's a different climate to Darwin, so he's doing well acclimatising thus far.
I don't know, Ballarat in the summertime can get pretty damn hot.
I lived there for 6 years, I don't know.
Us Victorians, you got to love us, don't you? And a little bit of howdy-do going on there, and a few punches being thrown as well. Bonghetti throwing his arm around. The umpire gets things underway pretty damn quickly. And a smart thing as well as White gives it off there to Cooper. And, well, another player being interfered with. And Bonghetti still going on with it with the likes of McFarlane. Free kick has been picked out, going to a St Mary's player. The umpire right on the scene, couple of them in fact. And, well, can the Tangerines control the likes of the Green Machine and the Tiwi Bombers? That is the big question. And Daryl White will have a shot from on the edge of the goal square, and this could set up the game for the St Mary's Football Club and take them to a 3-goal lead. As you would expect him to take this kick off a one step and bang. So a little bit of feeling still going on with the likes of McFarlane and Bonghetti. Errant elbow was thrown in that piece, and that passage of play equals a St Mary's goal and an opportunity to take the score to 3 goals in front. So
yeah, 2 goals early to St Mary's, and I think this is ominous signs if the Tiwi Bombers really need to stem the flow here. Otherwise it could stretch out to a point where it's going to be a little bit unmanageable. And with some threatening clouds and thunder and lightning off into the distance, it could even be harder for them to claw their way back, as we see a bit of flash and lightning off into the distance. So yeah, it could get interesting in about half an hour's time.
A bit of feeling in this game. These two sides are expected to go deep into the finals this year. If Tiwi Bombers win today, going to make it hard for the likes of the Wanderers and the Palmerston Magpies, who are playing later on this afternoon, to challenge for a final spot in the top 5. While St Mary's, if they win, they're going to really start to put the pressure on the Nightcliff Tigers, who are undefeated at the moment. They take on the Waratahs tomorrow afternoon. As well, what an unbelievable piece of play there by McLinden as Wilson goes flying. High up and under kick, going back from whence it came. Good work there by St Mary's. And, well, the likes of Clayton just couldn't help himself to another goal. And that was a behind there for the Saints. So they're attacking at every moment in this third quarter so far. And they lead by 19 points.
Yeah, McLinden probably thought he was about 3 feet shorter than what he really was there, and trying to be a nimble running half-back flanker, and yeah, the old two-handed bounce, I think it was. It's a little bit interesting, but yeah, no damage done, and yeah, the Tiwi Bombers rebound.
Barton and Hill go up for the marking attempt, neither of them get a hand on it as Munkara tries to punch it forward. Hale gets the chip kick away. Brian's Tippa-Woody. This is Dermott. So Tippa-Woody looking for McFarlane. No interference as such, but there has been, and I thought that was pretty fair there by Tippa-Mary. The umpire saw different, and McFarlane will line up on a tightish angle outside 50 for goal. Whether he chooses to give it off is another story, as the interchanges start to flow on in, as Bice and also Miles come back onto the ground. McFarlane chips it off, gives it off to Iggy Vallejo. He plays on quickly, inside, uses the outside of his boot to set up the kick. Going in there high, off the ground is Heath, and hits the post. And it's another behind on the board, out to 20 points now. St Mary's in firm control, 9-6 to 6-4. And Tiwi better get a rig along if they're going to be staying on in this game. The Tiwi Bombers looking to attack this zone. The best way to do it is to boot it over the zone. The ball hits the ground. Papangameri claims the mark. Moody just questioning it. Not to hit the ground. Smith and Hale take a rest on the boundary line. Papangameri, a helicopter-looking kick, and a fine mark taken in front of the likes of Miles. That was Mungatopi. He plays on quickly to the outer side, looking for Dunn. They move it on. Cunningham in the forward line against Rioli. What a matchup it has been all day. Rioli uses his body wisely. Finds Cooper. He's a long way from home. Kicks it inboard. Finds Stringer. Stringer along the outer side. And here come to St Mary's Football Club through Bice. Bice, another link up there. Gave it to the feet of McFarlane. He's going to have to tunnel ball it out of there. Stacks on the mill, and the umpire will come in and throw it up. A 20-point lead to St Mary's. As the ball is thrown up. Trying to use his strength there. That time there was Miles. He does get the tap away. High up and under kick. Interesting attempt there by the likes of Tippa-Woody. And here come the Tiwi Bombers as they build our defence. Mungatopi plays on quickly. They just wait for it to bounce. They're very casual, the Tiwi Bombers, as Campbell has the ball. He chips it across. Finds Tippa-Mary. This is Shane. Tries to shake and bake against the likes of Hill. Doesn't work out for him. Anstis kicks it forward. Going to be a tough opportunity for Munkara. He hand passes away from McFarlane. Heath's there as well. Tries to lay the tackle on Tippa-Mary. Brought Jimmy. Kicks it across there to Heenan. He plays on quickly. Nice looking kick. Tungatalam. They just went in a 360 direction. Still trying to get rid of his defender. He does so this time. Great shake and bake. Can he finish off with a fantastic goal? An epic moment of the day for the Tiwi Bombers.
Ross Tungatalam, that is just pure brilliance from the young fella. Really showed his wares, kept his mind on the ball, and again the defender Ben Rioli did absolutely nothing. Couldn't do much more than stay on his hammer, which he was there the whole time. Ross Tungatalam, just his class and his skill and execution, and it's just his ability to work his way out of trouble and stay calm. Yeah, slotted a fantastic goal, and Ben Rioli did absolutely nothing wrong there. It's not his fault. It's just when you're up against a class player like that, you just can't allow him to get any separation at all, because he will make you pay.
7-4-46, trails 9-4-58. The Tiwi Bombers peg one back yet again, but they're playing catch-up footy all afternoon as Clayton links up with Stringer. McFarlane, he's playing the roving there to Iggy Valajo. Going to have to work hard here in Tippa. This is Albert. Albert, hand passes off there to Heenan, the man that set up the goal there for Tungatala earlier. He breaks into the middle of the ground. A worm-burning kick, finds Campbell. They play on quickly. They're under pressure. Aussie Wanameri trying to get it out. He does so. And here come the Tiwi Bombers, heading into Cunningham direction, but handily chipped off there by Tundawatch. He looks in the direction of his partner in crime in Bice. He somehow ends up with the ball as Tiwi fluff that one. But it is do-si-do footy at the moment. Pass the parcel stuff. The entertaining handball there by White to Stringer. Lace-out kick. Balances himself. And is it touched on the line? No, it is not. It is a very good goal there by St Mary's. And good teamwork there in the middle of the ground to keep the ball ongoing. As May is saying a few words there to the likes of Mungatopi. And just trying to keep it clean out there, the Tangerines, a.k.a. the umpires. And they're just slowly but surely trying to settle things down out there. A bit of heat out there, and it helps, that sort of gets exasperated with the weather conditions out there. Hot and humid, 34 degrees out here at TIO Stadium. Glad we're in the air-conditioned comfort, although our cameramen aren't as lucky.
Can't afford air conditioning out on the balcony. Sorry, boys.
Can't do that. They'll play on quickly. Tiwi Bombers start to build again. Ross Tungatalam, he got the last one for the Tiwi Bombers. Make that 2 in a row. Another epic moment of the day. He's got 2 in a row. Fantastic work there by Ross Tungatalam. They got the centre break they needed. And, well, they just need a few more of that.
Yeah, good body work there by Bong getting on the line there as well. And same at the other end from McFarlane previously when Stringer slotted one through. Just big men on the line holding their respective opponents out and allowing goals through. And it's going goal for goal here early on, and it could turn into a bit of a shootout. But yeah, with these clouds getting closer and closer, every goal is becoming more and more important if this rain probably comes before the three-quarter time siren.
So Malone doing the ruck work against Miles. Centre clearance is all important here for the Tiwi Bombers. Desperate to get a couple in a row just to break this buffer that St Mary's have on them. Tundawatch in the middle of the ground now, working his way out of defence. Clayton, the rebel from Victoria, kicks it on forward. Wilson, Heenan in a foot race. Heenan plays on quickly. Good work there to Tippa. That's Albert. And just gets it over the hands of McFarlane and finds Barden. So Barden plays on quickly. Kiranaiua. This is Dylan. Geez, making his ruckman work hard for that one. Just overrun it there, the big man in Malone. Ball inside the forward 50. Daryl White running hard. Dives on the ball, keeps the ball alive. Off there to Cooper. He looks for his mate, and that is Tippa. This is Dermott, and he's in range here to add to the buffer that is already handy for the St Mary's Football Club.
Again, the experience and the cool head of Daryl White there. Just got to the ball first, used his strengths to push the younger and probably smaller bodied Tiwi player off the ball, and just created that space, and it falls out, and Tippa slots a goal there. So again, it all comes down to the great work from the cool head and the experience of Daryl White.
So 11-6, plays 8-4, and Tiwi have got their work cut out for them, but geez, it's been entertaining early on in the piece. Goal for goal sort of stuff. And if you blink, you might miss some of the great action that we've got here on AFL in TV here this afternoon. Some other big games coming your way a little bit later on. Of course, we'll feature the likes of Palmerston and the Wanderers, who are desperate to keep their season alive.
Yeah, and especially if Tiwi Bombers lose, the Wanderers Footy Club will be banking on that loss for them to stay within touch of that top 5.
As Liddy forces it forward. McFarlane keeps his feet. Working hard there is Kelly for the Tiwi Bombers. Tried to get it out. Oh, going in there hard is, well, Dermot, Tippa and Woody. Just handballed, unfortunately, someone's face as Liddy snaps it around the corner. Doesn't find the target intended. And a good mark taken there by the Bombers as they play on quickly. Barden. Sort of player watching there against McFarlane, and it's seen over the boundary line. And I reckon fatigue might be playing a bit of an effort a little bit later on this quarter, Brad.
Yeah, just McLinden there, just a lackadaisical kick. It's only a 20-metre pass, but missed Barden there by quite a ways. So you really need to hit those passes as Lincoln Withers shows his wares and busts through the pack.
Here, Niayua. This is Dylan. He's taken a couple of bounces. A long penetrating kick heading into Cunningham direction. The ball hits the ground. Kelly taken without it. Here comes St Mary's. Tunderwatch under pressure by a couple of Bombers here. Cunningham is featured in this one. Ross Tungatalam's shirt was tugged. And he might end up with 3 three-quarter time goals. And a free kick has been paid against Ross Tungatalam for a high tackle. He doesn't know what for, and Kevin Tunderwatch has taken away this opportunity.
Oh, great mark.
And what an unbelievable mark taken there by Dion Munkara as Heath was heading back in his direction, had to watch both player and ball, and marked it sublimely as the Bombers play on quickly. So here's their build-up. Tungatalam again. He switches play completely. Looking in the area there of Bongetti. Good work there by Dunn. Snaps around the corner, but no one there but green shirts. And they've marked it easy on the last line of defence. That time there by Anstis. So here comes St Mary's. Finally giving us a chance to breathe here at AFLN TV. And here comes Dermot, Tippin Woody. McLinden trying to chase him down. It's like the dinosaur and the small little puppy dog.
Great chase.
Great pressure there. Here come the Tiwi Bombers. Now they're starting to break away through Mungatopi into the middle of the ground. Has to be good with his hands is Lincoln Withers. Looks to link up with Kia Nianua. This is Dylan. High up and under kick. Can't find his big ruckman that time in Malone. They play on quickly. Kelly's at the bottom of this pack, trying to tackle as many green shirts as he can. Jack Long gets the kick out. Good work there by the likes of Fairweather, trying to trap the ball, but here comes St Mary's. Cooper missed the handball opportunity there to Bice. Players overrunning the ball. They're tired and war weary. Quick kick away there by Cooper. Onto the outer side. Stringer overruns it this time. Fairweather as Lightning keeps us company in this third quarter. And Campbell marks it. Can he slow it down? No, he wants to play on quickly. 3 Tiwi Bombers in the area. Tungatalam. Ball ends up back with Anstis. And somehow St Mary's clear the ball through Smith into Hale. Oh, he takes on the likes of Port Jimmy. Great tackle there by Tippa Mantameri. Port Jimmy gets it off to Cunningham. He's got a paddock to play with. Will he take on Rioli? Jeez, he fluffs the kick. Could have gone long into the goal square. Lincoln Withers was waiting there for it as they play on quickly. Now St Mary's mucking around with the ball. Tunderwatch kicks it long along the boundary line. Overrunning it there is Tippin Woody. Heenan's there as well. He kicks off the ground, Tippin Woody. Barden has the ball. Outplays the likes of McFarlane. Taken without the ball. And Lincoln Withers not happy with proceedings there by Clayton. And Dion Munkara has the ball on centre wing. He kicks it inboard. Makes his teammate work hard for it. Papangameri. Right in the middle of the centre circle. Plays on quickly. Needs to take a bounce. He does so. Bullet-like pass to Kelly. And Kelly has marked 45 metres out directly in front for the little man.
And looks like Rupert's just pulled up a bit sore there, but this is a crucial kick here coming in and into red time. But as you said earlier on in the call, I think the fitness of both teams is getting tested as we speak, and a lot more errors getting brought into the game, a lot more turnovers, and it's end-to-end footy at the moment. And this goal could tell the story of this final quarter.
So Kelly puts all he has into the kick, and it's through for a goal, a much-needed one. And it is now St Mary's by 14 points. And a very handy goal. 9-4 plays 11-6. And St Mary's still in control, but the Tiwi Bombers not going away. Desperate for another couple of goals as we head into the last quarter. 20-minute mark just gone here in the third.
Yeah, and Dan McLinden just comes off there, and I think much needed, much earned rest after that long chase down the far wing. But the Tiwi Bombers' relentless pressure, especially on this near wing in front of us here, was sensational. It's something that they actually lacked in the first half. So it's good to see them starting to step up and really pressure the St Mary's Football Club into making bad decisions.
Fairweather bursts out of the middle of the ground. They get a centre break here, the Tiwi Bombers, but it's only to be repelled there by Hill. But the Tiwi Bombers have numbers, this time through Dion Monkara. Heads in the big Ruckman forward direction of the likes of Malone. Ball hits the ground. Players milling over it at the moment. Here comes Hill, off to Rioli, tight on the boundary line. May has it. Trying to shake the tag there of Cunningham as he keeps it alive. Taps it to his actual opponent in Ben Rioli. Here comes Valajo, misjudging the handball there. Withers taken high there, Valajo going in hard. Oh, Withers throws a haymaker and might get done for that.
Jeez, I reckon he's lucky. He threw one there, I think.
And Iggy Valajo is just letting him know all about it. Bongetti in the thick of all the action today. And somehow Lincoln Withers gets the free kick out of it. And, well, out of all that, Tippa Woody sets up the play for Ross Tungatalam, but I think he might get sighted on the video effort there by Lincoln Withers.
Yeah, a bit of feeling coming into this game now, and we have neglected to mention that both the clubs are paying for the Wanamiri Cup. In the remembrance of the late Matthew Wanamiri. So as Corey Kelly slots a goal and puts the Tiwi Bombers right back in it for 10-4, 64-11, 672. So yeah, as I mentioned, the Wanamiri Cup, and I think the feeling that's coming into the game now, and the crowd's starting to get into it. I think we're in for an absolute rip snort of a last quarter, which is what we're here for.
Well, that is exactly right there, Bradley, and a fantastic roving opportunity by Corey Kelly. He's kicked the last two goals for the Tiwi Bombers, and 11-6 plays 10-4, and my goodness gracious me, haven't these two sides found something in this last quarter? Not long until the siren, you would think, as concerns over a report there for Lincoln Withers just before Christmas. Not a handy Christmas presents there for Iggy Valajo, a black eye, but we'll get on with it, won't we?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure there was much in it. There was an arm swinging, but we'll definitely have to wait and see what the tribunal has to say about, or the match review panel has to say about that one.
You gave me that, Bradley. I wouldn't be happy. As we play on quickly, and this time Daryl White just busting through the centre half forward position there. Tippa Woody plays on quickly, trying to push it forward here, and here come the Tiwi Bombers running in packs now. Can they find the target? Kelly's there as well. Kia Naiua lays the shepherd. Here comes Kia Naiua. Can he chip it across and find the target? Trying to snake it in there is Ross Tungatalam. He's been influential in this third quarter. Another look away handball there by Prot Jimmy. Working hard to get the ball out of trouble. There is Rioli teaming up with Anstis, but it falls into the likes of Kia Naiua. This time Dylan puts it through for a sausage roll, and my goodness gracious me, it's only 2 points the difference.
The Tiwi Bombers, I think their conditioning is starting to show out in this game, and as we sort of thought, their pressure and their willingness to throw their body on the line in the first half has definitely changed. They're definitely a changed team coming into the second half, and I think it's more due to the fact of the old heads of Fairweather, Lincoln Withers, Corey Kelly's shown the way, but also Shane Tippa has thrown his body around, he's chased hard, and he's just been that general around the centre there that the Tiwi Bombers really needed, and I think it's as a result of those, and they're back in this game and they're not going away easily.
After kicking the first 4 goals of this quarter, St Mary's have been lambasted by 5 quick ones by the Tiwi Bombers, and well, it is a 2-point lead for the Saints. Can they get one back here? High up and under kick heading in the Tip and Woody direction, and also Cooper's there as well. But it's the likes of Dunn to clear it, and away go the Bombers again. Working hard there is Fairweather to keep his opponent off the ball. That time on the outer side was Miles, but they kick it back inboard. Here comes Tip and Woody. Nice looking kick, but chipped off there by Papunga Mary. Players diving on the ball. Bonghetti's at the bottom of this pack. He's been in everything today, the big fella. And, well, the ball will be thrown up only metres out from the St Mary's goal opportunity, heading towards the airport end of the ground.
Yeah, can only be a couple of minutes left in it, so a goal here to St Mary's would really dampen the Tiwi Bombers' momentum moving into three-quarter time.
As Wilson dives over the ball, did a Sydney Harbour Bridge on that one and dived straight over it. Fairweather got plenty to play with, needs to kick it on quickly if there any chance of getting a goal before three-quarter time. Brought Jimmy, stayed on his feet, he's got plenty of time, chips it over the top, finds Corey Kelly, and he has kicked 2 goals in his third quarter, lining up for his third, and this to put the Tiwi Bombers back in front for the first time since the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
And he's well in range there, and again, Tiwi Bombers, great movement around the outer side. Michael Fairweather's been relatively quiet today, but again, used his dash and spotted up a target, and yeah, young poor Jimmy again just used his nous again and fighting the spare player in Corey Kelly.
So Kelly lining up for his third. Good looking kick off the boot. He's a dead-eye dick on this one. He's kicked 3 this quarter, and he's given his side the lead as well. Fantastic kick there. 12-4-76 to 11-6-72. And, well, the Bombers have come from nowhere in this third quarter. As I said, they were trailing. And they've bounced back with gusto. Trailed by a couple of goals at half-time. St Mary's got out to a lead of 20 points at one stage in his third quarter, and now the Tiwi Bombers lead, this time by 4 points. It's been exhilarating stuff.
And as those clouds get closer and closer, this game gets better and better. So it's going to be an interesting last quarter, which I think rain will somehow make its way to the stadium and cause a few headaches for both the teams.
Just some light blue patches coming, not the fierce red, which is good to see as Lincoln Withers at the centre half forward mark just finally gets a kick away on his left boot, but a great mark taken there by Jack Long, the running back with the flight of the ball. Plays on quickly, looking for Stapleton. Tungatalum hits the deck. Withers still keeps his feet, finds the target in Port Jimmy. He gives it off to Tungatalum. Doesn't find the target in the end. Jack Long gets a quick kick away. Kelly's there. He dives on the ball. Rioli snaps it across, but Jerry Cunningham marks. And he's 55 metres out. Chips it across as they're lining up all over the place. Kelly goes for the mark. Doesn't take what he might have taken as he was interfered with in the marking attempt. Heath goes hard for it, and he and Heenan see it over the line. And, well, there has been, 10 goals kicked this quarter, so expected to go maybe the full journey of 30-odd minutes as the ball is thrown in to Ruckman, doing battle. Lincoln Withers has been influential in this third quarter. Pianaiua battling it out with Cooper. Heenan shakes his defenders, snaps it across, looking in the Munkara direction. Kianaiua, this time in Cameron. Hill ran the full measure. Daryl White brings down Papunga Mary.
They're away here. They're away.
And here we go. The Tiwi Bombers through Barden. Interesting looking kick, a helicopter one at that, and a fine mark has been taken on the half forward line for the Bombers as they set up play. Campbell didn't hit him on the full, has to play on quickly, but finds the target on the outer side. And the Tiwi Bombers will be lining up to extend and make a little bit of a buffer before three-quarter time.
Lincoln Withers is actually on his haunches down there. He wanted a rest, and that siren couldn't come soon enough for him. But again, Rupert Papungamiri just foiled a forward attack there. He's been put on to Daryl White and got the front spot and set up this goal. So, yeah, Tiwi Bombers will be hoping that he can slot this through.
So the Tiwi Bombers, can they extend their lead? And they can, and they are up and about the Tiwi Bombers. They have come back from nowhere. They could be ending a couple of club seasons if they get over the line against St Mary's this afternoon, and a handy goal on three-quarter time gives them a 10-point lead. 13-4, 82 to to 11-6-72. We'll have a short break, but make sure you stay with us because this game is either going to get wet and windy, but also more entertaining after that. And welcome back to TIO Stadium, where the third quarter has set hearts aflutter for Tiwi Bombers supporters as they have bounced back from being 2 goals down at half-time, being as much as 20 points down during that third quarter to be ahead by 10 points. 13-4-82 to 11-6-72. Can they go on with it as a storm is approaching here at TIO Stadium? The bounce might have to be recalled. It is so that gives us all a little bit of time to take it all in on what happened in that exciting third quarter here at TIO Stadium, as reports are coming in via Facebook today, AFLNT. Make sure you check that out.
Big shout out to Laurie McAuliffe and Stephanie Tilmoth who are watching. Laurie from Townsville out there. Big welcome to the broadcast, mate, and I hope you're enjoying it.
There we go. Townsville follower, lovely to see as well. They're looking forward as a free kick, and is given away there by McFarlane. And it was a heavy one as well. He's hit the ground, and they're probably going to go on with it a little bit. But a free kick down the ground. And Austin Wanameri has the ball as well, so he could end up with his first goal for the Tiwi Bombers, which is good to see. So a little bit of toing and froing going on as the Tangerines are trying to just settle things down a little bit. Hey, look, you put him in that, Brad. So free kick. Aussie tried to get the cheeky, I'm holding on to the ball, I'll get the free kick. Instead, it has gone to Bongetti. And Bongetti will line up to put the Tiwi Bombers further and further in front, and a much-needed goal for them, for their confidence, and also for a handy little buffer. So they're out to 16 points, the Tiwi Bombers, as a interesting free kick was given away by McFarlane, as defenders and forwards are having a decent discussion down on the St Mary's forward line at the moment.
Something that Damien Hale probably didn't really want early in this fourth quarter, with I suppose he's one of his biggest leaders on the field, just losing his cool, and again, might have been a sign of his frustration. He really hasn't had much of the ball, or hasn't been able to make a really big impact on the game this far, Noodles. So I think it might have been a sign of frustration.
So they try and get the hit out that time. McFarlane, he's pumped up in this last quarter, but here comes Jerry Cunningham. He's got an absolute paddock to play with. He's all by himself. Hale and Heath are trying to trap him. He kicks it, laces out to find Wanameri, but it is seen over the boundary line, and it will be thrown in. So John Antes got his work cut out for him against the former live wire in Austin Wanameri. Might have got a little bit of a corky in the calf. He's been out of sorts as such here today for the Tiwi Bombers. The ball thrown in the forward pocket for the Tiwi Bombers, heading towards the airport end of the ground. Port Jimmy overruns it. Hill links up. Interesting kick there by the Saints to clear it, but a fine mark taken there by Malone, as he sort of wanted to play on, or maybe it was just momentum. Smith jumping around like a mad cat on a hot tin roof, except there was no Liz Taylor involved in that one. And the ball has been marked on the outer side by Port Jimmy, who's been in a lot of the interesting moves by the Tiwi Bombers today, as he hands off and the Bombers go for a long penetrating goal, and an epic moment of the day. What a fantastic goal there by the Tiwi Bombers. And, it's the old play, isn't it, where you just set it up from the back line. They're just sort of the Paul Wheatley sort of a player, the super goal sort of a play.
Super goal.
And what a fantastic goal kick there, and it seems that was somebody.
Albert Tippa-Woody, a young poor Jimmy, just knew his limitations and saw Albert's just going, well, give it to me, young fella, and I'll slot it home. He's put it through a goalpost height, and about 60 yards that ball went, and
did the Wheatley.
Did the Wheatley, as we could put it, and the Tiwi Bombers skip ahead 22 points now. It's going to be hard for St Mary's to claw their way back here, I think.
Well, definitely, as the Bombers are up and about. Fairweather in the middle of the ground. McFarlane's there as well. Iggy Vallejo on hands and knees, gets up and about, gives it off to Dermot Tippa-Woody, and Dermot switches play onto the outer side, and they switch it again into the forward pocket, and a fine mark taken there by Stringer. So Stringer looking to give it back to Clayton, maybe. Hale has it. He hand passes back to Stringer. He can go for it this time. Had a chance to do it earlier. Nice looking kick. Won't make the distance. Daryl White flies hard. And play on.
No, just went over the line there, I think.
So a behind registered there for St Mary's, but they're going to have to do a lot more than that as the Tiwi Bombers have resurrected themselves after early on in the game just being a little bit lacklustre. Maybe the heat had something to do with it, but they are up and about at the moment as they play on from the kick-in. Need to find a target. Oh, makes it hard there for his opponent there in Rob Hale. Moves it on. Heath trying to spin it around the corner. Doesn't find the target. And instead it is marked there by Cooper. Had a couple of bites of the cherry. He plays on quickly. A high up and under kick. And a bit of a hospital pass, but it ends up finding its target to Bice. And Bice will line up directly in front from 15 metres out.
Yeah, Paddy Heenan there probably should have, instead of going to the marks, just go for safety and try and punch it over the line. But again, I think the mistake there was Rupert Pungamira cutting out of the back line. He probably, instead of the short pass to a 50-50, should have used his penetrating kick as that goal goes through. But use his penetrating kick to hit to the wing and get it out of the danger area. And in return, St Mary's have rebounded the ball and kicked a clutch goal, which will bring them within 3 goals. So again, just an error in decision making there from Pungamira, which he usually is pretty good up top, but probably just a slight brain fade on his behalf.
So the ball makes its way back into the ground, and the lead has been just dampened a little bit. They're up by 15 points, the Tiwi Bombers. McFarlane in the ruck work for St Mary's, taps it down to Wilson. Beautiful hand pass, actually, as good as a kick, as Dermot Tippa runs onto it. Still has time, taken away with it. Cooper chips it, gives it enough air time there for Iggy Vallejo to pounce. He plays on quickly, dropped what he probably could have taken. Cooper, here we go. He put the snap on it when he could have just gone an easy as you like drop punt. Hits the post, and they got a behind for their troubles that time, St Mary's.
Yeah, Cooper again had more time and space than he thought, and again that's the perceived pressure that we continually talk about with the Tiwi Bombers. It's all about that, you know that they're coming, you know that they're always there, but in that instance it just needed a little bit of talk from the head of Iggy Vallejo and those around him to say, you got space, you've got time, settle and just make sure of the goal. Instead he rushed it and just made a crucial error.
So Albert Tipamori chips it into the back pocket, and they're just starting to slow things up now, the Tiwi Bombers, as they move it to centre half forward. Tippa Mantameri using a marking attempt, but here comes Jerry Cunningham being chased down by Rioli. A 20-metre handball there to Ross Tungatalam. He hand passes off to his good mate in Port Jimmy. Laces out easy as you like. A great team goal and an epic moment of the day for the Tiwi Bombers.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff there. It was really good movement of the ball. Again, the long penetrating kick. Tundawatch was flying over top but didn't really connect with the ball, and it snuck over the back. And if you let the ball get over the back of the Tiwi Bombers, more often than not they just run away with you. And I'm not quite sure that why Ross Tungatalam had 50 metres of space surrounding him, but that's the price you pay when you give him that sort of space. And just utilised the space and utilised his teammate in Port Jimmy, who just capitalised on the good work up the field from the rest of his team.
Hard for defenders to man up when the ball's coming in that quickly, and it was just sensational stuff there by the Bombers as the big fella in Smith is on the bottom of that pack trying to get it out. And Lincoln Withers and young Wilson, geez, they're two tough paisanos, aren't they, going hard at the ball? And that's what you want your midfielders to be. You've got your in and unders and you've got your flashy players on the outer side. As Withers punches it forward, Corey Kelly, who was fantastic in that third quarter, kicking 3 goals, gets it out there to Ross Tungatalam. Ben Rioli keeping his feet, but Tungatalam is back on his feet. Can he get the bounce that he wants? He doesn't need to. Bongetti has just marked the ball just outside the goal square, plays on quickly, snaps around his boot, and it is
a goal.
And 20-point margin goes to 26 now, as it is 17-4 to 12-8. 106 plays 80, and Ross Tungatalam, you sort of hoped that it would bounce and sort of flow on through, but Bongetti, well-deserved mark and goal.
Yeah, Bongetti's worked really hard up forward since he's been thrusted up that way, and he started up back but has since moved forward, and I think It was a great move by Lee Crossman in putting him forward. It's just provided him a key focal point and target up there, and which they lacked in that first half. He's kicked a couple of goals, but he's also provided that structure, and he's taking away a key defender from the likes of Tungatalam and Puajimi and Aussie Wanamiri. While he hasn't been influential, he's taking a key target down there, and a key backman in Kevin Tundawatch, who's generally takes a key forward as well. So it's the structure is actually much better now, and it's actually paying dividends.
Geez, what would you be thinking if you're a Palmerston or a Wanderers supporter out there? Your season could be going down the drain because of the exquisite skills of the Tiwi Bombers, as Campbell lines up for another one. And it's through for a behind. A great work there by Tippa Mary. That's Shane, who grabbed the ball out of the middle of the pack and just worked his way through the middle of the ground. Here comes Collins. Finds Tundawatch on the outer side. Back to Collins. Nice build up here. Trying to evade Wanamiri. Looking for Clayton, who's been quiet in the second half. Nice kick, working himself into the game, and finds the big target out there in Miles. So Miles looking for the likes of Wilson. Has to beat two. On his hands and knees at the moment. Cunningham wrapping him up at the moment. Trying to get it out. The umpire says play on. Little Joshy Heath, high up and under helicopter kick. Looking for some sort of a target. Cooper's there. He's got some mates there to help him out as well. Clayton might end up with it. Now he's got a paddock to play with. Within range. Can he line up for it? No, he does the team thing and gives it off to Dermot Tippa. And Tippa will mark and kick from roughly 30 metres out on a slightest of angles. So St Mary's trail by 27. Just been going 10 minutes. As lightning and thunder just rattle across on the outer side of this ground. Dermot Tippa. Nice little lead on kick. Makes no mistake with it. And the lead is cut back to 21.
Cut back to 21, and still a glimmer of hope there for St Mary's. They just need this next centre break, and the way the centre breaks have gone this quarter, it's not looking good. But if they just can get something out of their engine room in there. Big John O'Miles has gone in, and they need something out of the likes of Justin Wilson and Luke Collins. Alan May's been quite quiet today, and a couple of these key players from St Mary's have really sort of gone by the wayside, I think, and in this second half, which were quite influential in the first. So if St Mary's are going to get back into this, I think that's what they need to do.
There's some heavy rain around the traps, more central to the city areas, as we're out in the area of the Darwin Airport, as players milling over the ball here, just clearing it. And a free kick, no, just thrown in, as the player going off there is Bomgetti. And McCasker comes on for the Tiwi Bombers. It might be a little bit cooler out there at the moment for the players, as a little bit more energy is starting to get into these bodies. The umpire gets the ball and ready to throw it in. So Miles doing the ruck work for St Mary's. McCasker for the Tiwi Bombers. Tap down. Bursting his way through the pack was Tippa Mary. Wilson going hard as well. Tundawatch is there. And players just hitting the ground there in the likes of Collins and also Ross Tungatalam. Ball to be thrown up. Thrown in. Ruckman doing the ruck work. About four of them, in fact, as Heath in the thick of the action. Tippa Mary to Ross Tungatalam, breaks away from the pack and just all by himself with no friends at all, but plenty of time to kick a goal, is the likes of Papanga Mary.
Tungatalam's vision there was absolutely exceptional. He's spotted him out the corner of his eye. Papanga Mary just sagged off the back of his opponent and just allowed him that space, but that no defender could stop that. That was just a bullet-like pass off the left boot, and just exquisite skills.
So Papanga Mary to start putting the first nail in the coffin for the St Mary's Football Club. And he does it with ease. 18-5 to 13-8. It has been an exquisite display of football after half-time by the Tiwi Bombers, where they have rattled off the likes of 10 goals, which has been sensational stuff indeed. And just the way they've done it as well, with the flair and pizzazz that we all know that they can do. And Tiwi have just been caught napping. The ball back in the middle. McCasker being out-rucked that time there by Miles. They get the quick kick away as they needed to. At the bottom of that, just jumping all over there is Dermot Tippa Moody. Going in hard. Umpire right on the spot. Lets it play on, and well, that was an interesting little match-up there by the two players involved in Tippa Moody, and also, we would have to say, poor Jimmy. The ball bounced. White trying to punch it through. Wilson at the bottom of the pack. Tiwi Bombers starting to build through Withers. Tungatalum as lightning just keeps us company. Jerry Cunningham fumbles the ball. Off to Campbell. Mathis Liddy's there as well. But here come the Tiwi Bombers. Quick kick away there by Kiranara Ewer. And a fine mark taken there by Tunderwatch as the lightning and thunder has already started to, we'll say, g'day to us late in this quarter. Robert Hale on the outer side. Chips it across. Iggy Vallejo overruns the ball. Wilson scoops it up. Back to Hale, and here comes St Mary's. Takes one bounce. Nice looking kick to McFarlane, who's been quiet today. Well held in the back line by the likes of McLinden and also Barden. Heath scoops up the ball. Plenty of time. Can he get the bounce that he wants as well? And what a great goal by the Pocket Rocket in Heath. And a much needed goal for the St Mary's Football Club at the 18th minute mark.
Yeah, 18-minute mark again. They just keep that 3 to 4 goal margin just alive, and moving into red time now, they really need to hit their straps here if they're going to put a dent in this Tiwi Bombers lead. But Tiwi Bombers seem to be doing it quite well and at the moment, and rotating their ruckman and yeah, our cameraman, young fella, is very excited with that goal out there. He's very proud of Joshua Heath. He was giving me a little bit of a fist pump there, so big shout out to our cameraman on the left out there. Is doing a fantastic job, and out in the heat we're enjoying our air conditioning.
We are for a change, which is good to see. And Joshua Heath could be a part of this play yet again as he puts the pressure on the Tiwi Bombers. Kick away that time there by Barden to keep things healthy there as Ben Rioli trying to scamper this down. Corey Kelly's there as well. Ball seen over the boundary line, but Josh Heath got his hands on his knees at the moment as he's been in everything today, which is good to see. And the little piston legs serving him well out there as well. So the Tiwi Bombers in a commanding position. 113 plays 92. As it's starting to get pretty dark here at the moment, you'd expect the lights to come on sooner rather than later. Ross Tungatalum there with Liddy. Both players still going hard at it. Liddy gets a handball out of mid-air there is Fairweather, only as far as Tunderwatch. Iggy Vallejo now with the ball. He's had a sort of average sort of day by his standards anyway. And a fine mark taken there by McFarlane, and that's what we've come here to see today as he hand passes off there to Clayton. Clayton kicks it in the area of the likes of Cooper, who looks to take the mark. Jeez, cleaned up there by McLinden. Oh, he felt that one there in Cooper, and away go the Tiwi Bombers. He's still on the ground, young Cooper. Caught the full force of McLinden. Here comes Port Jimmy, off to Cunningham. And it's starting to line up for it. Campbell's all by himself. Instead he goes across the ground. Going to have to work hard here is the likes of Mungatopi. He tries to shake and bake. Does the job on Smith. And a little lace-out kick there. Used one hand, but went with the two. Cleaned up after the goal as well. And the Tiwi Bombers have got another one through Ross Tungatala.
I'd say that would be the final nail in the coffin there. Tiwi Bombers worked hard out of the back line. And yeah, big Dan McLinden, I think, knocked the wind out of young Cooper down the back line and really made him earn his kick. But again, Tiwi Bombers run it out of the back line quite easily, and good transition to play from Jerry Cunningham using the centre of the ground. He kicked more goals up the centre, so really well done. And it was obviously a dicey kick, but it did pay off with I think it was Donald Mungatopi, I think it was, running down the centre of the field, who managed to use his pace and agility to get away from Smith. Probably should have had a shot at goal, but again, got it to Rocco, and Rocco Tungatalum does as he does, kicks goals.
He's got a few next to his name today, Tungatalum, 4 in fact. And, well, they've done well. We were worried about how they were going to cope with the loss of Ephraim Tippa, but they've managed quite well and finding goals out of their midfield as players just jump all over each other. Not giving an inch. And the last one with the ball underneath all that pack there is Lincoln Withers, the former coach and captain of the Waratahs Football Club. They take on the Nightcliff Tigers tomorrow as Tundawatch kicks the ball forward. Plenty of Tiwi Bombers scooping that one up there, and McLinden's taken off with it. The umpire calls play on. Underneath the back there is Heath, and scrounging it all up, and St Mary's have done well to lock that up. I thought McLinden took the mark, but maybe played on.
Bit hard done by there. I think he actually claimed that mark, but anyway.
As White scoops it out of the ruck work. Heath and Campbell linking up, I should say Clayton, as the lights start to come on for the first time today. May has the ball for St Mary's. Chips it across. Players just jumping in front of McFarlane. Vallejo snaps around his body. Smith is there, and also is Hale, and Hale will line up from just on 50 for an important goal there for the St Mary's Football Club. So they're after respect now, as we're into red time in this last quarter. What a fantastic performance it has been by the Tiwi Bombers as the Wanderers Football Club warming up behind the goals. As Rob Hale unloads from 50, trying to make the distance. Comes off hands and it's through for a behind. The 93 plays 119. And the Tiwi Bombers with a handy win over their arch rivals in the St Mary's Football Club. Wow, a big booming torpedo punt into the middle of the ground to try and set things up. Good punch away there by Kelly as the Lightning keeps the players coming through Cunningham and Campbell.
Watch poor Jimmy here.
And here comes poor Jimmy, just roving at the right time. Bongetti did all the hard work contesting the mark against Antist, but poor Jimmy kicks the goal as the crackle, snap and pops all go around the ground as the Lightning and Thunder start to descend here at TIO Stadium. But it's the Tiwi Bombers that are doing a job on the St Mary's Football Club. 125 plays 93.
Yeah, the broadcast is not sponsored by Rice Bubbles or Kellogg's Edo, so please do not use that slogan. But again, poor Jimmy again. Poor Jimmy just roved, knew where to be. He was at the right spot at the right time. You can see it from a mile away he was going to get the ball. And yeah, again, just a nice, easy goal for the Tiwi Bombers. And again, it should have been a mark to Aidan Hill instead of trying to punch the ball. He had plenty of time to take the mark, but instead chose to punch the ball. In the end, the ball ended up getting over the back with Jerry Cunningham and the likes to get it down forward.
And some more Lightning there, just flicking with us at the moment as the players dive on top of the ball. As we're deep into red time now, and it seems as though the Tiwi Bombers are going to have a handy victory and might be putting a severe dent into the Wanderers and Palmerston Football Club season as May taps it forward. Scooping it up there are the Bombers as they play on quickly. Good pressure there by Cooper, that time there on Heenan. Heenan gets the handball out and got the free kick, and they're just going on with it a little bit. Bit of howdy-do going on as McCasker and also Collins get to know each other quite well. Maybe inviting each other to Christmas parties or something like that. You never know. Heenan got plenty of options. Instead, he goes backwards to go forwards as Cunningham was streaming through the middle. They chip it around the outer side. Tippa Woody's there. Oh, geez, nearly mucking that up there is Barden as he gives a bit of a howdy-do there to his St Mary's opponent in McFarlane. Tippa Woody gets it back, but he gives it off there to White. So White on the outer side of the ground. Chips it across, finds Vallejo, who had to work really hard for that one. Slowly but surely they're chipping it and finding their players of need. Tundawatch, been solid off the half-back line today, had plenty of the ball. Moves it along, nice penetrating kick. Ooh, copping a big punch in the back there from McLinden is May. And a ball seen over the boundary line at the 60-metre mark. Just heading towards the St Mary's goal as the Stingers gone out of the game. 25-125 to 14-993. St Mary's are leading at half-time by 2 goals, and then Tiwi just kicked themselves into action. Joshy Heath now overruns the ball, and here come the Tiwi Bombers running in waves yet again. Look at them go. Mungatopi in the middle of the ground. Will he use anyone to help him out? He's taken a couple of bounces. Nice lace-out kick. Can he find his partner in crime down there? Ross Tungatalan tries to shake and bake. He hand passes inboard. Liddy scoops up the ball, and they might get away with it, the St Mary's boys. And they find Tundawatch. Just maybe overusing the ball a little bit, the Tiwi Bombers. Could have gone for goal there in Mungatopi. Probably ran out of energy at the end. But here he goes again. Speak of the devil. Good work there by Miles. Cunningham switches play. Campbell just waiting for the ball. And he's marked on a 50-metre line and will kick from roughly 54 metres out. We'll see what he can do with the range that he's got here. So a player just scooting into the forward pocket is Fairweather. But an interesting looking kick there by Campbell. It hits the ground. Cunningham waiting at the bottom of the pack, but it's punched over the line there from Hill. And it's through for a behind. 126 plays 93. So Wilson with the ball. Being marked there by Port Jimmy. Running hard for it there is Stapleton. Sees it over the boundary line. Being guarded there by Wanameri. Not long to go in this last quarter. There's games still to be played today. Palmerston taking on the Wanderers, Buffaloes and Southern Districts, and tomorrow afternoon the Waratahs and Nightcliff will be in action. Kick away there by Clayton. Doesn't find his intended target, and a good mark taken there by Dion Munkara. So Munkara gives it off to McLinden, who's been great in defence today for the Tiwi Bombers, dealing with the likes of White and also McFarlane. Munkara switches play completely into the middle of the ground. Mungatopi, he's been good, guarded by Heath. Onto the outer side, Jerry Cunningham trying to work over Mathis Liddy. Cunningham using all the time in the world. He does so on Liddy, works his wonders, penetrating kick over 3 or 4 hands. Here comes Papangameri, a check side goal opportunity, and it is out of bounds on the full.
Could have been a wonder goal, that one. But again, yeah, the St Mary's players have just all flooded back. There's no one inside the St Mary's half of the ground except 2 players now. So again, just St Mary's just trying to limit damage control now, trying to keep that respect on the scoreboard, and the siren shouldn't be too far away.
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? The 5th team knocking off the 2nd team. Anyone in the top 5 can knock off anyone this year, and especially with the likes of the Wanderers, and also what we've seen with Palmerston this year. Those are the top 7 that are really going to be battling it out, but the team to beat is Nightcliff. And it seems as though St Mary's dropping this one might have sent some interesting messages to oppositions on how they can be beaten, as Clayton links up with Hill inside the forward 50, and doing a good job there is Heenan marking the ball. He switches play onto the outer side, Tungatalam, and he's got some company with him as well. No Shepherd laid, which is interesting there by the Tiwi Bombers. Instead they use their pace. Fairweather with the nice little pigtails going on today, the little afro pigtails. I like that look. Ben Rioli, he's been good for St Mary's today. Tundawatch going in hard. Dermot Tippa-Woody hand passes off there to Rioli under immense pressure and clears the ball and finds the target in May. Play on quickly into the middle of the ground. Good work there by Stapleton, looking in the McFarlane direction, and he takes the mark as a flash of lightning goes on by, and he'll line up from 20 metres out, directly in front, and should pop it through.
Noodles McFarlane's had a very, very quiet day on his standards, and again, it's a consolation goal for him. But yeah, from his standards, I think Noodles will be extremely disappointed. And by the sounds of the crowd, the Sting's gone right out of the game, and they're probably admiring the sound and light show off in the distance rather than the game. It was pretty hard-fought contest for probably 3.5 quarters. But Tiwi Bombers, class, skill, fitness. And they just worked themselves into the game. It took them probably a half to get to that point, but they just managed to stay in touch. That 2 to 3 goal buffer, they didn't let it get out too much, and they managed to just stay in touch with St Mary's, and St Mary's couldn't put them away in the first half, which they probably should have. And lo and behold, their fitness and their skill, and I suppose their willingness to work for each other in the second half and putting their head over the ball, and I think led by Lincoln Withers. I think his game in that third quarter, and him and Shane Tippa really turned this game on their head, just with their attack on the ball and the relentless pressure that they created.
Collins tries to get the handball out into the aid of Iggy Vallejo. He does so that time as Hill gets a worm-burning kick away. It's just wandering along there for Wilson, and he kicks it out of bounds on the full after the pressure there by Kelly. And that is full time as the Tiwi Bombers have won by 27 points. What a fantastic victory. 26-126 to 15-9-99. The Wannermarry Cup will be staying in the hands of the Tiwi Bombers. Of course, in aid of the late Matthew Wannermarry, as Austin is shaking hands and having a good chat to Iggy Vallejo at the moment. Look, these two sides, they go hell for leather when they're out there, but a lot of great mates out there linking up and sharing stories and saying good day to each other. A great win by the Tiwi Bombers, 26-126 to 15-9-99. Who's best on ground for you today, Bradley?
Best on ground for me, oh Jesus, I suppose it's a bit of a toss-up. I liked Corey Kelly's game. He had a fantastic game. He's probably a consistent performer over the 4 quarters. Tungatalam was probably well held in the first half, but worked his way into it in the second half and really had a massive impact in that last half, kicking crucial goals at crucial stages of the game. You could name a couple others. Lincoln Withers had a fantastic game. Rupert Pungamiri stood up when he needed to.
Didn't he?
And Donald Mungatopi through his run off the half-back line. Albert Tipamudi, that's probably my pick amongst those. But again, it could be a toss-up between any of those 4 or 5 guys. I think they all bobbed up. But I think Corey Kelly for mine I think his game was solid enough to warrant that. And again, Ross Tungatalam, I guess, had his dues in the second half, but just probably couldn't put together the first half performance due to a really good job done by young Ben Rioli, who, in a losing side, who got probably outclassed today. I think he had a really solid game for where he is at in his footy. I think he had a really solid game for St Mary's. Daryl White, Justin Cooper up forward for St Mary's will definitely push for their medal on their side, because there is a medal given out for both teams. So again, and as Ben Rioli, he goes over and he is part of the Tiwi. He has Tiwi heritage, and he gets over there and gets amongst them because he realises how much this means to both the sides. So, and as Michael Long is preparing to hand over the trophy to the Tiwi Bombers, I'm not quite sure they're going to use the microphone, but I think they're just going to do it amongst themselves, which is a bit rude. But anyway,
is it going to be fair enough? And giving the trophy away there is Michael Long to Austin Wannermarry, who's been presented with it after Tiwi have had a good win. Look, at Austin himself has had an interesting last 12 months, hasn't he? Obviously, with the passing of his father, Matthew, as presentations go on here. Do we see him working his way back in, or has he just played this one-off game? What do we see the story of Austin after Christmas? Will he continue playing with the Tiwi Bombers, you think?
Oh, I'd hope so. I hope we can see him play with the Tiwi Bombers especially for the remainder of the NTFL season. But I'm sure there's a team playing in the NEFL in the Northern Territory Thunder that are really keen on seeing Austin play with them and getting himself in a bit of shape if he can do that and he's willing to commit. But I suppose the ball's in Austin's court at this point with regards to the NT Thunder and him putting his mind up for that. And by the looks of it, the Wannermarry medal has gone to Rocco Tungatalam, which is, I suppose, he had a great last half, but I think his first half was probably a little bit quiet from his standards. But yeah, hopefully we see Austin with the NT Thunder in 2012.
And the medal going the way of St Mary's, I think.
It's Jeremy Clayton.
It is Jeremy Clayton, who had a pretty good start to the game, was all over the place, and then just sort of, unfortunately for him, got himself worked out of that second half as they just started to really work themselves into it as The coach in Damien Hale of the St Mary's Football Club is having a good say about the situation and with the trophy and what a great game it is. It is a great rivalry which has started to build over the last couple of seasons since the Tiwi Bombers have been in the competition. And both sides go their separate ways, and I'm sure they're going to be meeting up yet again when it comes to finals and also another time for the rest of the year. But great to see Michael Long out there as well, wearing the Thunder jumper or polo top, and saying g'day to a couple of boys as well. Palmerston and also the Wanderers. Do I need to ask you on your opinion on who's going to win this one? Is this going to be biased?
Well, I bloody hope Wanderers get up. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be an interesting clash, and we're Palmerston without Jason Cloak. But just having a look out there to see if Wolf Ewing or Jake Dignan are playing.
They should be both out there. They've been named today.
They have been named, but again, it's going to be an interesting clash. And the Wanderers have got Adam Cook back in, who kicked 10 goals against the Waratah previously, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting clash. But yeah, I'd like to think that the Wanderers would be probably 3 or 4 goals better than Palmerston. I think Palmerston have been behind the 8 ball since they've started this year and never really got going. They showed a lot of promise early with recruits and what have you, but I don't think they've shown enough in the games that they've played, particularly against the Tiwi Bombers when we broadcast them last time. I think Tiwi Bombers just showed them with too much class and pressure and the like. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. And Shane Thornton off at the tribunal this week through got a good advocate, I guess. So, but yeah, got off at the tribunal, and Brad Vassell just trailing in behind there. Recently signed for the NT Thunder, will have a big part in this game following up.
Well, that's exactly right. The other late game today, which gets underway at 7 o'clock, 7:30. That time there, you will see the likes of Southern Districts taking on the Darwin Buffaloes. The Buffs have had a really tough season as it has turned out. They haven't won a game as yet, and Southern Districts will be desperate to really work Darwin over and get some good form going into Christmas. But the big game tomorrow, and leading into this one only a couple of weeks ago, both sides are undefeated, and it's been a story of different motions over the last month as Waratahs have really been under the pump, losing their AFL stars in dribs and drabs. Waylon Manson's form after kicking big bags of goal has completely dropped off. The Waratahs taking on the might of the Nightcliff Tigers, who have been in sensational form for the first 10 rounds of the game. Nightcliff easily tomorrow, or will it be an intriguing match?
It'll be an intriguing match. I think Waratahs have got a lot to play for, and they need to regain some form of momentum heading into the Christmas break. They can't afford to lose 3 or 4 in the trot, which is going to look like happening, and they've lost key games, key stages of the game, key stages of the season. So if they lose again, they drop back and they come on level pegging with the Tiwi Bombers, which could definitely shape the top 5. And if Wanderers win today, it only leaves them 3 games behind them. So again, anything can happen post-Christmas.
Well, there we go. They're looking for momentum heading into the Christmas break. We're going to have a couple of weeks off, and we'll be back on January 7, and we look forward to having your company then. Until then, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you, Bradley, and also everyone out there in AFL NTV land. And make sure you keep up to date with all the goings-on on our website, aflnt.com.au, and you can follow us on the Facebook as well, AFLNT. Until then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll catch you in 2012 as the season of 2011-2012 continues in the NTFL.